Yo. So had locals today and won first place with Speedroids, and just gonna preface it with it was a 7-man locals and one of my wins was a bye. So yeah, I 3-0'd. One was technically a free win, but it's still first place. So just felt like profiling the deck because it is super fun. Let's start things off. Searcher, 3 Marble Machine, just adds any Speedroid monster. Next 3 of is 3 Tomborg, just specials itself out. If you have a win, then tribute it off to get a tuner. Next 3 of is Card Turbo. Again, you can special it out if you have a wind, and you can banish it to buff up your wind monsters by 800 points. Then into the 2 ofs, there's 2 Hound. This card could be at 3 because it's actually like super good, even though it's just a normal summon. And then 2 Daikos, again, another card that could be at 3 because it just recurs your tuners like really well, like Cork Shooter and like Turbo and just everything. And 2 Dice. Some people play 1 because like it kind of is a brick in your hand, but also like you want it in the deck so you can get it off of Tomborg. Then for the 3 1-ofs for the Speedroid monsters, there's Terratop, just gets you whatever you need. Rubber Band Plane helps extend, and then the Piper is really good at just like digging for stuff. You can even just add a hand trap because you just excavate if you have like 1 or more other wins aside from Piper, and just add whatever you want from there. Then for the non-Speedroid stuff, I have some Wind Witches, which did not come up at all today, but they came up last week. So 3 Ice Bell, then 1 Freeze Bell, 1 Snow Bell, 1 Glass Bell. So basic combo is just Ice Bell into Glass Bell, and then either add one of these, because you can special summon them. This one gets you into Crystal Wing. This one gets you into Barone, all under 5 summons, so that's nice. That's it for the monsters. Then play Triple Wheel, which is really good for like starting plays. You can get into your Rubber Band Shooter really easy, or you can get like just another monster on the field, which is nice. Also, it's good because of the quick play, so you can protect yourself from like damage. Just nice little bonus. Then 3 Recovery, which is the Monster Reborn for the deck, and you can banish it the turn after you use it, like any turn after you use it, to just add back a Speedroid from your graveyard to your hand. Then Duplicate for the last Speedroid Spell or Trap. This card's really good. Banish a wind and then bounce a card on the field. Probably up it to 2 because you can also summon it out as a tuner, which is really good. I used it today twice to go into Barone because my Crystal Wing got negated, so I just used this and another thing that I made level 1 made into Barone, which is pretty good. Just able to keep playing after that. Then just defensive card, Called By, then Duster. Duster's the main deck because people main deck Mystic Mine, which really sucks. You should ban it. And then Hand Traps, 3 Ash, just really generic. Everything searches, everything special summons from the deck. Just really, I don't know, it's the best hand trap. 3 Imperm, probably second best hand trap because you can't get Called By. Then 3 Crow, which could be an effect veiler, but it's really good because you can just hit stuff that goes to the graveyard. Like Eldritch, I hit that a couple times, hit some people's reborn targets. It's just really good for hitting anything that they want out of the grave. The effect veiler is nice, but sometimes you go up against something like Fluent Andaries and you can't send stuff to the graveyard, although this is the same clause. So it could be something else entirely. That's 1 out of the 9 hand traps that is debatable. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. It's 42. Could cut it down to 40 if I drop the Wind Witch stuff, but that's for later. On to the extra deck. For stuff that's important, that can't be cut. 2 rubber band shooters, very important, because you might go into the second one, you always go into 1. 2 cork shooters, you usually go into 2, sometimes you don't, but again, always play 2. And level 5 Speedroids, Canberra, and Hagoita. This one could be anything else, to be honest. It doesn't come up nearly as much as Hagoita, but it's just another nice level 5 to have. Kite Drake, it's very good, negates all face-up cards, or all cards your opponent controls, or just destroys everything and just kills your opponent. 2 level 7s. The fast Clear Wing, and then regular Clear Wing. This is just always banished off of Rubber Band Shooter. Very easy one to banish, and then Canberra is another one to banish. Then you play your 2 Crystal Wings, your 1 Barone, and then those are all the mandatory ones, really. The ones I would not change. Then the ones you could change are these last 3, which would be Raptite, Winter Bell, and then Diamond Bell. So Raptite is good because it's a 4th DD Crow, or a 5th if you count Called By as a DD Crow-esque card. So you just banish because you're always going to have Winds in your graveyard. The first effect doesn't matter because we're not playing rocks this time. Windwitch stuff you could cut if you cut the main deck stuff. It's just nice to like burn your opponent additionally, but you don't necessarily need it because it could be Shen, it could be the Ignister stuff, it could be the level 11 Synchro and the level 10 Synchro. The level 11 one is actually pretty good. Might put that in as well as the Ignister stuff. Just replace these. Because sometimes you don't want to go into like a level 8 or a 10 or a 7 or whatever. Sometimes you want like a 9 or 11. So yeah, that is the extra deck. And for the side deck, which small locals, but still have to have a side deck. So one of these, because it's a wind Pancratops, I put it in just in case I got like D-barriered and like wind locked at the same time. So I wanted something strong that could beat over that. I only have 1 though, which is unfortunate, but it's there. Never put it in because I didn't face anything that D-barriered me. Then Terraforming, Zombie World, Banshee, Foolish for decks that matter for that, like Salad or Flunder. Didn't face a single one, which is cool. Back row decks, 3 Cosmic, 1 Reboot, and I have the Duster in the main deck. Faced Branded Eldritch, and I put all of that in, so that helped quite a bit. Then 3 Barrier. I don't like getting D-barriered, but what sucks even more is if my opponent gets D-barriered, so I'd rather do it to them before they do it to me. And then the last 3 cards, Anti-Spell, because I don't actually play a lot of spells in the deck, so I could just put this stuff in and then side out some of my spells and not worry about it. Or just chain my my quick play to it so I can still at least use that one. But yeah, that is the deck. It got me first place. This locals, I don't know if it's going to get me a top next locals, but it was still fun to play. Okay, so for just basic combo lines you can do with the deck, I mean it's an old deck, but might as well show off some of the stuff that you can accomplish with it. So basic 2-card combo here to get you into Crystal Wing. So you can just go ahead, summon Hound, and Foolish something like Daiko. So Foolish that, then Tomborg, special summon it, and tribute it off. You're going to pretend the hand traps don't exist for this. You can make Red Eye Dice, turn this into a 2. Synchro to Cork Shooter effect, summons back the materials. So Dice and the Hound, you kind of could, if you did it a little bit different, could go ahead and revive that, but you already special summon it. So yeah, you can only special summon that once per turn. So you turn your Hound into a 4. Then you make your Hagoita. Alright, so you're pretending that Nibiru is not a thing because that's just how Cork Shooter works. It just pretends Nibiru isn't real. Otherwise you would do it differently and you wouldn't even go to Cork Shooter because you definitely summon more than 5 times. So you make yourself a Crystal Wing. And what you could do here To make a second Crystal Wing, go ahead, banish your Daiko that you sent off the Hound, revive Cork Shooter, and then since you control a tuner, Speedroid tuner specifically, Hagoita can come back. And then synchro that guy off for your second Crystal Wing. Probably put one of these in defense mode, just because Lightning Storm exists. You're pretending that Nibiru doesn't, but you should at least pretend that Lightning Storm is an actual card that could happen. Also, at locals, somebody did some weird thing that negated 2 of my monsters and made their attack 0, but their defense stayed the same. And my Crystal Wings were both an attack, so they just were 0 attacks and they got beat over, or at least one of them did. So yeah, that's the double Crystal Wing line off of 2 cards. Pretty good. Combo number 2, which utilizes Wind Witches. This gets you either a 1-card Crystal Wing or a 1-card Baronne. So you control no monsters, so Ice Spell, special itself out. Then you can special another Wind Witch from your deck. So you would special out Glass Spell, which also has an effect on summon. So Chainlink 1 Glass Spell to add a Wind Witch, and then Chainlink 2 Wind Witch Ice Spell to burn for 500. Just helps you chain block a little bit. And you can either add the Snow Bell or the Freeze Bell. So let's just say that you added Snow Bell to start with for the Crystal Wing, because it's just the most basic one. And Crystal Wing's the older card. So you control 2 or more winds. So third summon, Snow Bell. Then you would take the 4 and the 3. Then you could go ahead and make your Winter Bell. And Winter Bell you can burn for another 800 using the level of Glass Bell there. So it's 4 times 2, 800. And then 7 plus 1 equals Crystal Wing that cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you can easily have it in attack mode, and it's pretty safe. Or, just to rewind things here, so instead of Snow Bell, you go ahead and add Freeze Bell. So you control Wind Witches. You can special add outs. Now, you don't have to bother going into another synchro. You still could, and you would be under the amount of summons, so you could still burn for that additional 800. Or you could just go directly into, not this, not that, but a Baronne in defense mode, because it cannot be destroyed by battle due to Freeze Bell. Yeah, that is the 1-card combo for either Baronne or Crystal Wing using Wind Witches. Right, and not necessarily a combo, but it is a way to get your combo started. So you have Speedroid Wheel and just literally any card, so it's basically 1.5 card combo because it could be anything. You're always going to have 5 cards to start with. So you would activate Wheel, and then you pitch whatever that is, and what you do is you roll a die, and then you can summon up to 2 Speedroids that equal the amount in terms of level. You don't special summon. If you do all that, you just take 500 equal to the effect. So go 2, which is the worst one, but that's why you play 2 dice, because just go ahead, there's 1 die, then 2. So now you have 2 red-eye dice. Their effects are negated because Wheel doesn't summon them with their effects. But since you haven't normal summoned or done anything, what you can do is link that stuff off for your rubber band shooter. And now you can use Band Shooter's effect to banish just anything, like say Canberra. To get just decent normal summons. So Hound, Marble. And again, it's just your opponent picks a random one. So it doesn't really matter which one they pick, because you're pretty solid either way. So, but for this example, let's just say we get Hound. So we can proceed to use our regular normal summon. We haven't. So again, normal summon. And we can pitch Daiko and then basically do what we did in the first combo but in this case it just took extra steps. So banish Daiko, get dice, its effect is now live, make this a 2. Summon out the cork, then again, summon out your materials, make this a 4. We are playing like Nibiru doesn't exist. Game 1, it is not real if we close our eyes to it. Make a Goita. You can also go and make a level 7, but Hagoita just comes back a lot more, so it's almost better to make Crystal Wing. And then, yeah, that is off of 1.5 cards, off of Wheel. Of course, if you roll on 1, then yeah, it kind of sucks for you, but you play a lot of things you can just normal summon that are wind, so you could go into this, and this also gives you an additional normal summon. So this is helpful, but there's a lot of like 1 to 2 card starters, mainly 2 card starters in this deck that almost always end on at least a Crystal Wing or some form of disruption. And even for like the follow-up on the next turn, you could use this again if you had no normal summon to get something else, just pitch another Daiko or just any tuner. You could pitch Card Turbo, you could pitch whatever. You could even get the Rubber Band Shooter because it's just another extender, but any tuner, this comes out, or Daiko, banish it to summon something. This will also, Ultra Hound has a second effect that you can use the turn after it's sent, or any turn after. So you can just banish it, shuffle one of your Speedroids into the main deck, so just something like, not those. Something that's level 3 or 5 or 7. Usually it's a level 3, like a Daiko. Bring out a Cork Shooter and then you can do that, but there's other ways to do it. So it is a fun deck. There's a lot of lines to it, and there's like just multiple ways to get into things. There's several ways to get into Rubber Band Shooter as well, not just always sending Daiko, but it's one of the better ways to do it. And the blank card was just a Wind Witch. But yeah, that is just a few basic combos with Speedroids. They're not the most powerful deck in the format, or in most formats, to be honest, but they are one of the funnest decks, and I really like them. Hope they get even more support in the future, but right now I feel like they're at a pretty solid place. But yeah, that's it for the combo lines. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the profile, and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Peace out.